Welcome back to Auburn Ed Talks, the official podcast of Auburn University's College of Education, recorded in the Pratt Family Media Production Room at our new College of Education building. This podcast spotlights the people, ideas, and innovation shaping the future of education and beyond. In this episode, we're highlighting a program that truly reflects our college's mission of opening doors and improving lives, Auburn's Education to Accomplish Growth in Life Experiences for Success, or EAGLES program. This innovative initiative supports young adults with intellectual disabilities as they pursue independent living, career development, and a meaningful college experience. So let's get to talking.
Hey everyone, I'm Isabel and I have the honor of serving as the president of the College of Education Student Ambassador Program. And today I'm hosting the Auburn Ed Talks podcast with three members of our EAGLES program, Audrey Cordier, Dr. Betty Patton, and JJ Johnson. Thank you guys for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel. We're excited to be here.
Yes, excited to be here. Thank you.
Where are you going?
So Dr. Patton, to get us started, tell us about the EAGLES program and its mission.
So the EAGLES program at Auburn is a comprehensive transition program for students with intellectual disabilities. And what that means is that we provide an Auburn experience to students who traditionally would not have had the opportunity to attend Auburn. Our core goals within the EAGLES program are to promote independence and improve quality of life for our students beyond Auburn. So we use systematic instruction and evidence-based practices, evidence-informed practices to create and curate an Auburn experience that really emphasizes developing skills in the areas of academic enrichment, independent living skills, personal social skills, health and wellness domain, and independent living. So ultimately, our program works together with a lot of interdisciplinary supports across this campus to really highlight the impact that everyone can have on the disability community and not just specialized professionals in certain disciplines.
Well, that's amazing to hear, and I love how unique the EAGLES program is here at Auburn.
So, JJ, can you give us some specific examples of who or what aspect of the program prepared you to embrace this full-time job? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're the one who wanted to pursue a full-time job at the AU Hotel, correct?
That is true.
Yes. So what drove you to do that? And then how or who helped you get to where you needed to be to achieve that goal?
I would say basically all the members from the staff, actually, because each staff member has a piece to a puzzle, I would say. So
analogy.
I love that.
So Dr. Creighton, she's the assistant director, she's the social coordinator. And mainly, she helped me a lot with just, be more engaging. And then with Miss Willis, just more about independent living. Basically, with my job at the AU Hotel, I set up and take down events, and I do serve food sometimes. It was like a plated event. So, and then, Miss Goodwin, I love her a lot, and she always her job is health and wellness. So working at a hotel, you do walk a lot. Mm-hmm. I remember last time I checked, I had 20,000 steps one time.
Oh, wow.
The generalization of that skill of recognizing the importance of developing health and wellness skills, those healthy habits, how they're needed to be successful in a career. And, Isabel, that's one of the most important parts of the EAGLES program is it is comprehensive. And I'm going to let you finish, JJ, but I think one thing that should be emphasized about the importance of the EAGLES program and programs like these is that we don't believe that you can teach skills in isolation. Mm-hmm. With who we serve, there needs to be overlap, and our students in the community need to see that with these skills, it's going to make you a better employee, which then makes you more engaged. And then you get a paycheck and you're able to pay your bills and you're able to go out and have a good time with the friends and the peers that you have. And at Auburn College of Education, we are lifelong learners. And so it's important to know that while we keep growing in those areas, JJ is an example of he's never going to stop learning and growing, and he's going to look for an opportunity to continue to grow and advance. And so you hit on Dr. Creighton's role with the personal social. as well as Miss Goodwin's role with health and wellness, Miss Willis's role with independent living, and then you talked about Miss Osment with employment. What else? Other area?
And Miss Ellen also. So Miss Ellen, she's academic. So like she has taught me is just like, customer service, because I think at any job you need the customer service to. Of course. It's gonna get you in the long run. And it's just she has taught me that like during like one of my, I almost said action plan. Oof. I almost said action plan. What is it called? Like when you
Individualized learning agreement?
Yes.
Awesome.
So like she just told me like it was one thing that like she told me it was one thing that you're already good at but you should work on is customer service, because it helps you it'll help you in the long run. Just be like a good advocate for yourself when if something goes wrong at your job, you can just you could always reach out to any of us. I was like that's deep.
Yeah.
I love how practical it is. Like it's all
Awesome, yeah.
daily life, like daily application. That's awesome. And so Audrey, I'm going to jump to you.
Yes.
So what does your role look like as a Wings peer mentor?
So Dr. Patton and both JJ kind of touched on the different domains. So I get the privilege of really being in the social domain. So that kind of has two parts. So the first part is modeling appropriate behavior. So that could look like, not over texting somebody or showing up when you said you were going to show up, different things like that. And then the second part of that kind of looks like advocacy. So like when we're at a restaurant and one of the Eagle students is trying to order, I'm not ordering for them. The person that's taking their order is looking at them, taking the order from them. Or like in the grocery store, we're checking expiration dates. I actually learned recently that milk that is at the front of it expires sooner than the milk that is in the back. So that's been a helpful tip.
It is.
And checking out by themselves. Like, can they do self-checkout? Can they check out with a person? And do they need my help? And so...
And do we have enough money in our bank account?
Yes, exactly. Are we bringing our cards? Are we making a list? Like those types of things, and making sure that, we're supporting them and we're making them feel confident and that they are able to do such a thing by themselves.
She's actually underselling her role a little bit. I think we need to maybe dive a little bit deeper into the organizational role.
Yes.
So the Wings Peer Mentor Program, which stands for Warm-Hearted Individuals Nurturing Great Success, is a student organization here at Auburn. And so while being a student organization, it's sponsored by an academic unit. And Miss Audrey is our president of that organization. So can you please share a little bit more about the framework of
So Wings is definitely a fully student-led organization. We work really closely with Dr. Creighton, but like all meetings, all events planned are all by people on exec or even people in the organization that are like, hey, this would be a good idea to do. So it's a lot of accountability as well for our peer mentors. So are you doing your social events? So we require like 3 social events per month. We also have something called Qualtrics hours, which you can log how many hours you volunteer. And if you get 50, you get a disability advocacy certificate.
What are some ways that you work with students in the program?
Yeah, so as vice president, last year I served as vice president. This year I'm serving as president. But it's mainly leading a lot of meetings and a lot of coordination. So let's say that somebody's going to class with a student and the student doesn't answer. They'll text me or they'll text whoever, Miss Allen or whatever. And then I'm kind of that liaison between the staff members as well as the students, as well as the Eagle students as well. So, yeah.
Do you have any family members with disabilities that kind of driven you into
that's a great question. I actually don't. So when people always ask me, they kind of assume that I have somebody personal to me. And that's why I really was driven to join this organization.
Because a lot of our Wings do have a personal connection, right?
Exactly. But I never did. I just always wanted to be with people and serve my community. And it's been a great time. Like the Eagle students are just so awesome. And it's been great to really watch them grow from, being E1s, which is like our first year students, to being E2s and then E3s and E4s, which can live off campus. Like just seeing that transition has really been transformative.
Love
and
it.
It's really just great. Like I've grown as a person and the Eagle students grow as people like all in college. So that's been just such a great and rewarding experience to be a part of. Yeah.
It's really inspiring to hear about how you've been giving back to the Auburn community. And so I want to ask you, Dr. Patton, Why do you think the peer mentoring program is so important?
Wow. So
Doesn't have to be so broad. Just
no, honestly, the Wings program is what makes the Eagles program. And ultimately, it's about that community. And at the end of the day, JJ and his peers, are going to be more influenced by their own peers. And so I'm sure you've heard the term like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I think that it is really incredible to know while we are strategically bringing peer mentors into the program, we also are facilitating authentic relationships within this structure that people gravitate towards naturally in a way that they're able to model appropriate behaviors, just do life together. And by doing life together, our Eagles students are able to raise their own standard and, really see how their peers are engaging. Not to mention it's research backed. And there is a systematic way to work with peer mentors, to train them so that they can then be the ones who are, spreading inclusion and awareness on Auburn's campus. And so when our Eagle students are paired with our Wings, they actually are what facilitate this entire program working, because our staff and team, we can only be in so many places at one time. And so it is not lost on me the gift of being a part of and leading an organization like the Eagles program where so many people gravitate towards it and want to help the next generation of Eagles students really get plugged in. And so I do not take that lightly. And it's one of those things that every day I wake up that I get to do this and get to be surrounded by such amazing peer mentors and really give us a lot of hope for the future. They truly are so incredible. I mean, a lot of our peer mentors that we get to engage with, and they just the way they problem solve, the way they show up, their critical thinking skills, and coupled with their heart is incredible.
It's amazing to see like how big of a community the Eagles program creates, because it's not just the program, but it's also the staff, and then it's the Wings mentors. And so, JJ, I'm going to jump back to you for a second. Thinking back on your time in the program, what are you the most proud of accomplishing?
What I'm most proud of is graduating.
Yeah.
Not saying because I was glad to graduate, but it was just a big milestone, I would say, because not a lot of people with disabilities get a chance to graduate in college. So just know that, like, at the end of the day, I feel you're like the 1%. So, so you just gotta like be grateful of what you accomplished so far. Just be like, I think the saying is like be glad that it happened. So.
I love it. Don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it
happened. Yes.
Yeah, what a positive perspective. And JJ hit on the 1%. So who we serve in the Eagles program are individuals with intellectual disabilities. And that is about a little less than 1% of the entire population. And so within that 1%, there's a continuum of ability levels, adaptive behavior skills. And so when you think about programs like Eagles, we serve 1% of the 1% who would be eligible for these programs. And so to hear how grateful he is for this opportunity is just inspiring to keep going, because we can't be all things to everyone. And so that is ultimately the best gift, is to see the impact it has on JJ and others.
Each individual story is so special to hear. I want to ask each of you, and you can go in whatever order, whoever's ready first. What's one takeaway, if any, you hope that listeners take from this episode of Auburn Ed Talks?
I guess I can go first. I would say just how important it is to advocate for others. I think, just because somebody's telling you something doesn't mean that that's the answer. So, advocacy really brings that out. Like, what can we do? How can we make this better? And so I think that it's super important to advocate, and in that comes these independent lives. And they're not only independent, but they're fun, And so, yeah, I would say that's my biggest takeaway.
what I hope listeners take away is that regardless of where your future takes you, to be an active participant, listening to JJ's experience. You're the president of our College of Ed Student Ambassador. She's the president of our Wings Peer Mentor organization, and that getting involved and, putting yourself out there ultimately is what leads to these incredible outcomes. And, it's not always going to be easy. And I believe that you choose your heart in life, and so let's do hard things that are going to amount to great things and great outcomes long term.
Absolutely. What about you, JJ?
I should have went first. My biggest takeaway from Auburn Ed Talk is, don't stop trying, because at the end of the day, no matter how many times you fail or something, you can always get back up. And I've always learned, if you want to succeed, you do have to fail first. So that's like my biggest takeaway is, before you want to succeed, you have to fail.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing your stories and the amazing work that you're doing through the Eagles program. And thank you to everyone listening to the Auburn Ed Talks podcast today. Please subscribe for more, and War Eagle.
War Eagle.